All right. So today we are going to be reacting to marketing posts that Sophia sent us on TikTok, which I assume this is the modern day equivalent of retweeting. Is that what this is now, Pedro?
Probably.
So
This
this
is the good old Twitter.
so you just like look at things and then you just so it's opinions based on opinions and opinions and we all just sit around and yap on opinions. That's what this is, right?
That's correct. That's how we like to use our time.
Well, you know what I have to say? If you can't beat them, join them. So let's get into some opinions on some marketing stuff. Okay. You ready for the first one?
Let's go.
Okay.
You measure ROI in marketing, especially when you do branded content?
Okay, let me ask you a question. What's the ROI of your mother? Basically a sentence from Gary Vee that translates into not everything is measurable. So marketing, in my opinion, is all about building enough trust and awareness so people can buy your product or service. But not every action is measurable in marketing. And the way people buy nowadays is extremely complex. Some people might have seen a post from one of the employees, went on their LinkedIn profile, saw the company, visited the website, and eventually purchased. So marketing attribution is so complex that often I feel like it's a waste of time to invest that many resources into attribution. So sometimes I feel like it's better to use these resources to create better content and more awareness.
All right. So marketing attribution is useless. Pedro, what are your thoughts on this one?
Pretty much the exact same story we've seen for the past 20 years. We're going back in circles.
Okay, so I agree on some point. I think that lots of people, you can waste a lot of time messing around with attribution and looking at every little headline and every detail, but I think you need to know where your levers are, right? Because if you take what he's saying completely true and you say we're not going to measure everything, we're just going to create a lot of stuff, then how do you know what performs and what doesn't, right?
That's correct. Yeah. The other problem is companies don't really understand the attribution. They think it's like, just tell me if, you click on an ad and got the sale. That's not how attribution works in the real world. So it's just this constant of, where do you want to spend your time? Creating good content obviously will drive results, but understanding what from that good content it actually driving results. Is it the imagery? Is it, content? Is it the text part? Is it the headlines? And this is where the attribution can be very handy.
The other thing that I'm just looking at this guy, I don't know who this is. He's quoting Gary Vee. So what I'm thinking is that this is very social media focused, right? Like social media doesn't really get to the actual sale of things, right? So this strategy very much works for social media if you're just looking at building an audience but if you actually want to like put dollars behind what you're investing in, the thing is that it's not that complex. If you have a conversion point and you put a UTM parameter on it and you track if a conversion point turns into a sale, that's really it's really that simple, and it doesn't need to be that complex. So I agree with his point that you should be just putting time creating as much as possible. But if your attribution is so complex that you're wasting a lot of time just trying to figure out where you attributed something, then you need to relook at your attribution strategy, right? Like it should be simple. It should
100%.
be like, I put them into this user flow. On this user flow, this is the point where we feel like they convert, and I can, if they clicked on a link, I can on a database level see that this person turned into this customer. So yeah.
Been going through what I've spent in marketing for my jewelry business this year, I thought I'd just share the ROI of each marketing channel for you. I'm Ramona and I own a jewelry business called Rani & Co. And we have email marketing. This year so far, we have an ROI of 904%. I hired an email marketer last year, and ever since I've been working with her, our emails have definitely performed better. People say different things, but over 30% of our sales come from emails. So I thought I would just share that because it's interesting to know these things, especially if you're building a business, and take what you want from that.
904%. Does that surprise you?
Nope, it doesn't. To be honest, email performs or outperforms better than anything else. The challenge is you're competing, the email inbox competition. It's very wild. It's a wild west. And it's very different from putting up a meta ad or Snapchat or TikTok or even search. So nope, it doesn't surprise me for that reason.
Okay. I mean, jewelry, e-commerce, no brainer, right? Like
Correct.
the template and flow for jewelry e-commerce is like ads to email to sale, like is very simple. So like I'm not surprised that like a business like this survives and thrives in that environment. So like the first thing that jumps out to me with this is if you do this correctly and you do this right, I always say to people, look at the stock market. If you invest X amount in the stock market, you might get like 8% return year over year, right? If you build a product and a service or something and you then invest it into marketing, 900% ROI. Marketing is the best investment you can make if you have a good product. Obviously, it's if you have a garbage product, you can burn through money really fast. But you get a good product, you learn these basics of how to track things. You are a money printing machine, and that's awesome, right? So email, number one, like what I love hearing about from e-commerce people is when like a buddy of mine, he owns an e-commerce company. They're doing like crazy revenue. And he'll be like, you know what? I decided to make an email over the weekend and I sent the email and I made $60,000 this weekend because I sent an email. Right. So like
Email works. It just works really well.
part of what isn't described is like how much did she pay for each one of those emails? Like there is an investment that you need to do into building that email list. It just doesn't come on its own. You need to build brand, you need to build recognition, you need to have offers that give people a reason to subscribe. But that 904% ROI is what you get back from that investment. Yeah, classic e-commerce, I think it's like no brainer. I'm sure there's like hundreds of people, thousands of people like her.
Because this is the biggest point I will make. Spending working media dollars, on any piece of creative that hasn't been validated successfully by getting organic reach in one of the 7 platforms is actually grossly negligent, yet 99% of the working media next year, the trillions of dollars you all spend, will do exactly that. And I believe the companies that start to figure out what I just said will continue to gain market share, refurbish their brand equity, become relevant to more consumers to actually drive their business. And the ones that still think 3 people in a room can come up with the big idea, the brand positioning that I can chat GPT in 1 second. Yeah. And then go spend $500,000 to make a 30-second video and plop it on TV that nobody's going to consume. They're going to continue to lose market share.
Thoughts on this one?
Disagree. I think validating something organic social media, especially, it's very tough, especially with companies like Meta, when they have vocally come out and say that your organic reach is 0, pretty much. So yes, you might get lucky. TikTok, yes, Instagram, but the point of validation completely, I don't think it happens organically. I think you need to put working media dollars into validating as well. It's just how do you structure your validation process, right? You always have 10%, 15% towards testing, and validation should be part of that testing budget.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, traffic, either you pay for it or you earn it, right? But what gets me about that is like what the algorithm picks up. The algorithm's for entertainment, right? What the algorithm is going to do is try to keep eyeballs on social media, right? So if I just start every video with me smashing a printer or blowing up a car, is that going to actually lead to a, something that generates revenue, right? But like what he's right about is the shift. It used to drive me crazy. Like clients come in, they're like, hey, we have a marketing budget and we want to spend it and we want to start getting some ads going, but we don't have any creative. We don't have, like we've already set the budget, but let's the creative, whatever, let's figure it out as we go. Like that's why like we would come into these workshops with people like, let's find out your brand. Let's find out your creative. Like you're not ready to spend advertising before you've really made who the hell you are in this market. Anyone should care about you. And you have some kind of creative that really speaks to people and that's interesting, right? So like we used to turn down clients that were like, okay, you don't want to invest in the creative at first. You don't want to build the vision of like what this thing is before you start spending money. Like don't do it then. Like you think you're gonna like throw ChatGPT in a couple headlines and people are gonna be interested? No. Now you have ChatGPT where you can create a whole ecosystem of creative and try things out and push some of those on our organic and actually see if it's cool and anyone cares about it. And those are real signals that like your message works, right? So yeah, I agree to some extent, but I think that, like you said, like if you don't have something to start with, just pay some money for a test budget. You need to have a test budget, right? So start with that test budget, and then for the first few months, use the other part of the budget you were gonna have before, invest that into the creative, right? And then like there will be key things that stick and work, and then but you always have that test budget where you try out other things, right? Classic
Good old,
Gary V.
classic. The good old Gary V.
Let's switch it up and go. Let's go, Neil.
How long does it take you to make your money back from your marketing? Well, with things like blog posts and podcasts, it's roughly 120 days. With tools, 140. For things like images, short form videos, live webinars, it's actually less than 20 days. As you can see in the chart, it varies a lot based on the marketing type and the content you're creating, but follow this and create content related to your industry and your business, and your payback period should be pretty quick.
Yep.
Same.
Old Neil.
Yep. Makes sense. Everything.
Yeah, I think like one of my favorite charts for like he's Neil Patel, SEO GOAT. One of my favorite things about, or you just see it in the charts, right? If you're investing in SEO, it's like this flat, whoop, up, and then, but you're there, right? Like you're there and it stays there, right? That's my favorite like chart for SEO. You don't see anything, you don't see anything, you don't see anything, you keep investing and you think, oh my God, like, well, let's stop. We're not getting leads in right away. It's not going to work. And then it works and you're like, shit, like this is steady, constant leads coming in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a marathon, not a sprint. But you can't just, you want to start getting actual signups for things. And so he mentions like webinars, stuff like that. Like you can't just have a one thing will work for me, right? It needs to be a mix.
100%. I don't think there's only one tactic that works. Webinars require exposure, awareness, social, a little bit of paid, email. So like all these different channels, they work well when they're combined together. If you're going silos and just create webinars, it might take off. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but it might take a while.
Yeah. And the thing is with content, these things should all work together, right? Your webinar is going to have a topic. Your SEO is going to feed that topic. So it seems like you're doing a lot of things, but if you're smart, you can accomplish all these at the same time, right? The content in my topics in my blogs feeds my webinar topic. The webinar topic gets cut into different posts that'll be my social media posts. The main thing that I see is people will say, oh, like, does Facebook work? Does this work? Marketing is so complex now. There's no one thing. It's like at least 7 or 8 channels and distribution methods that you have to get in place, and you need to invest in them all, right? So the smart thing to do is to do a content strategy that thinks of all these touch points, thinks of all the distribution that needs to happen in it. So that investment that you make, what I like to say is like a Rickyism, is like getting 2 birds stoned at once, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like if I'm going to be doing a webinar, how is that webinar going to be cut up, distributed into all my social posts? How are those social posts going to feed my blog? How is that blog going to feed my newsletter? If you're not starting with a strategy, you're dead in the water. Like you will not make it to that 120 days of producing content if you don't have a well mapped out strategy that has all of these things linked together. So, yeah. Okay, this one's someone in their car, so I know it's gonna be good.
It's going to be good. Yeah.
It's got to be that. Like the best marketing advice always comes from somebody sitting in a parking lot in their car.
Do you know the
That's
best
true.
time to run that advert on TikTok and to convert very, very well? Okay, now let me tell you, the best time to run advert on TikTok is during the weekend, and it does not apply to only TikTok, all other social media platforms. The reason weekend is the best time to run adverts is because people are more free during the weekend, unlike during the week when they are at their workplaces, their business places. So if you run your advert during the weekend, you're going to get more conversions than running it during the week. And when I run your advert during the weekend, I don't mean start the advert on Friday night or Saturday night. This is how you should set your advert. Start it on Thursday evening. Start on because on the first day, after a few hours, the advert is still in its learning stage. So by Friday, when you start your advert on Thursday evening, by Friday, the already understands relevant where your advert is, who they should push your videos to. By Thursday, by Friday, your advert to start getting seen by your interest. If you target rightly, your advert start getting by people that you targeted to see your advert. By
All right, I've seen enough. I kind of get it. Thoughts?
Clear as water.
Yeah, I mean, like run your ads on the weekend.
People are engaging with social media on the weekend, especially on TikTok.
Here's the thing about stuff like this. I'm sure there's an algorithm for that. Like, let's
Yeah.
leave this to the AI. Like, I don't really need, like, I don't know. It's just, isn't there a button for this? Is there a button for like schedule at optimal time?
There
I mean-
is one, but
Like the-
again, yeah, it's
Okay, here's the deal about stuff like this. Stuff like this is like tweaking and like just going back to the first guy, make really good creative. Like tweaking and putting schedule times and stuff like that. Even with email marketing, like if your message sucks, put your time and effort into that. Don't put it like, sure, there's better ways for deliverability, but when you're getting on that level of marketing, you're kind of losing the plot, man. Right? I don't know. Do you agree or?
I agree, but I also think that, I mean, depending on the business, right? Like most
Yeah.
businesses, like if you're, I don't know.
Yeah, like you're gonna send all your emails for a B2B SaaS company on the weekend? No.
Yeah, maybe not.
Like you're gonna get out of office. Like, I don't know.
Although I've seen, again, it's just like, it's wild what
But it's a
can
tactic.
work. And
It's a tactic.
it is a tactic, yeah.
It's a tactic. It's a tweaking. It's a low level like way of looking at things. You might get a dip in conversion rate of like 0.5% or 3% max on this, but like
And we don't know what her goal was, right? Like, if you
Yeah.
want more people to see your TikTok video, yes, obviously makes sense to do it on the weekend versus a Sunday morning. But that's not, that's not going to be
Yeah,
the
and I
case
mean,
for
like,
everyone.
part of me just needs to read the comments. Most business owners are wasting money on ads, so it's like
No,
yeah,
that
okay.
I don't agree with that. Let's go
It's fine.
deeper
Better
into
to
It's
do
fine.
that.
It's fine. I can't do it anymore. Not my vibe. All right, cool. So I think that's good. I think we learned some stuff.
some good old stuff. Summary, Neil Patel, good advice.
Yep.
Gary Vee, hit and miss every single time.
Gary
Hit
V's
or miss.
social guy, very future forward. Gary V's very future forward, and there's a lot like he's on beat with the trends like no one else. You know, Gary Vee would tell you maybe like email marketing is not good or something. Like you should be having a TikTok farm of like people in a warehouse doing online shopping with iPhones. That's fine, but I mean for B2B and stuff, take them with a grain of salt.
Correct, yeah. It's
But yeah,
product, business. Anyway.
yeah, but I agree. Like make content. It's what we're doing right now, right? All right, homie.